You know, these past few weeks I've been working on this sermon. Well, I've been ignoring it because I really didn't like what it said. I didn't really like the way it ministered to me. How many of you know if you ever, somebody tells you something and you don't like it, you don't want to hear it? Come on now. Mm-hmm. I know the married folks in here that way. Come on. Mm-hmm. Your wife says something to you and you don't like it, but it's the truth. You go like, I don't know what you're talking about. Come on now. Or if your boss tells you something other and you don't like the way they said it, but you know it was the truth, but you didn't like it, so you ain't gonna like him right now. Come on now. Mm-hmm. When preparing these sermons, I always ask God He has to minister to me as well. Because if it ain't ministering to me, then I ain't doing nothing but public speaking. And I don't believe in public speaking. We all have choices. And I choose to try to live by God's word the best I can. That does not make me a failure. That does not make you a failure. Sometimes we just make bad choices. Come on now. Sometimes we choose bad friends. Come on. Yeah. Sometimes we choose bad jobs. Come on. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we choose bad relationships. Sometimes we choose bad homes. Sometimes we choose bad vehicles. Why do we make bad choices? And it goes back to feelings. On how we feel at the moment. Because if Sally's being awful nice to us and we wanted to be in that popular crowd, we're like, hey, I'm all with this. Or if we see a nice boat somewhere sitting in someone's backyard, oh, that's a nice boat. I remember whenever I went to buy my a bass boat one time, I just knew I shouldn't have bought that stupid thing. But I was not going to leave without one. I chose not to leave without one. Amen? Mm-hmm. And I remember I sat there and I looked at that thing and I was like, no, I just don't know. But then I said, hey, I got permission to do it. Come on now. It's even easier when you get permission, ain't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking to the crowd now. I got your attention here. But does it make it right? No. I bought this bass boat and I gave a little more for it than what I probably should have, but I was caught up in the moment. I was in the yes moment, and I knew I wasn't going home with it. So we went and we got it and brought it home and we drove it for a while. Next thing you know, things started breaking down. Then I wanted to fix everything up on it. I thought it had to have a nice radio in it and all this other stuff. Man, I was regretting it the whole time. Have you ever made a choice that you just felt like there was a pit in your stomach about it and you're like, man, but you wasn't going to admit it. You did something wrong, were you? No, sir. Especially to the one that gave you permission to do it. Come on now. There's no way you're going to go, well, Mom, you were right. Mom, Dad, husband or wife, pastor, teacher, no. That's not in our agenda. That's not in our DNA, right? But we made a choice. So we had to live with that choice for a moment. Does that choice define who you are? Decisions decides destiny. Remember that. You see, God has already made the decision. He's already designed the destiny. But your decisions decides your destiny. Because God gave you free choice. Free choice. So when you go to Burger King, you choose to get what you want, don't you? Why? It's because of what you want, isn't it? Do you ever get something that someone else says, oh, you should get this? Come on. I've been there. And I thought, man, that was a bad choice. That was a bad choice. Because I chose it. And then I wanted to blame someone else for my bad choice. Well, you told me this would be good. Now, look at these two over here now. You know what I'm talking about. You told me that was a good thing. I trusted you that was going to taste good. That was going to be the best thing I ever ate. You might as well served up possum on the half shell, because that's about what it's going to look like. I'm just saying. Yeah, well. That's a choice. You see, many times we want to blame someone else for our choice. But we make the choice. We choose. We need to look at our destiny the way God designed the boat for Noah. God gave Noah the blueprint to that boat. He gave him the materials for that boat. Noah had a choice on how to build that boat. Now, I know some of us in here would have said, well, now, wait a minute. I don't know what that little room there's going to be for, but it's not big enough. Come on. We need the open concept here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, why do I need a big, bulky boat for? All I have is just me and my wife. Come on. I'm guilty of this. Because, you see, I don't recognize how big of a boat I'm supposed to build. Because I get in my own little selfish moments to where I go, you know what? What does it matter? Nobody's going to listen anyway. Nobody cares about it anyway. So why should I worry about a bigger boat when I could just make a little dinghy for myself? And I would be comfortable. Oh, there we go. I would be comfortable. Just me and my wife and my little dog. He's got a life jacket now. Just see, we find it humorous. But let's get serious just for a moment. What boat are you building? What boat are you building right now? God gave you the blueprints. He's gave you the material. It's your choice whether you want to alter that boat or not. You see, we are not separate people. We are all children of the Most High God. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care if you have hair or not. I don't care if you wear glasses. I don't care if you like McDonald's and I don't. I don't care what you like to eat that I don't eat. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you attend school, churches, or anything. We are still children of the Most High God.
That's right.
Our destiny lies in our choices. Many times we have prayed, God, remove this from me. God, remove this hindrance from me. And I believe, every time I pray, I believe it. I don't second guess it. I don't ask no other way. But I have a choice whether I go back to that hindrance or not. It's my choice. And sometimes I go back to the hindrances. Sometimes I go back to the wrong choices. Because I go on my feelings, not by what I know. Each and every one of us in here is not perfect. Look at each other and say, you're not perfect. There you go. See? And nobody got mad about it, did they? You know, we often have these friends that will come to you and tell you all your faults and problems, but they will never stand with you to fix them. Choices. Choices. That's what we have today. We have choices. And like I said, just like Noah built the ark over a period of time, you and I are building our future one day at a time. One choice at a time. One act of obedience at a time. That's us. We are building our ark. And I pray that you're building a greater ark than I am. Because you see, God don't want us to suffer through all these things. That's the reason He did what He did. That's why He did what He did. His choices created our destiny. Our choices is what's going to keep us towards that destiny. We could be like the children of Israel. We could be circling that mountain because of our choices. Hurt and pain are very damaging in our choices because we don't want to be hurt or let down ever again. And that's why the word that God gave us a couple of weeks ago is that we should quit looking through the lenses of disappointment that control our destiny, of our future. Reach over and touch someone. Just touch and let go. All right. So now, you touch. How many of y'all ever watched The Lion King? Yes. You see when that monkey slapped that lion in the head with a stick? I'm not going to do that. But there's truth in it. It's in the past. What you've done 1 second ago is in the past. You need to quit living in the past. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday.
That's right.
It doesn't matter what happened a year ago. Your choice right now is to choose to live in this moment of time to better your destiny with God. You have that choice. Your friends, your families, your moms, your pastors, your teachers, they cannot go to heaven or hell for you. They cannot receive your blessing, and they certainly cannot choose your destiny.
That's right.
You do that. You choose. When I pray now, I pray to God to let me choose to respond to wherever He's pulling my heartstrings to do. Whether it's forgiveness, whether it's movement, whatever it is. I can pray all day long, God, heal me. Heal me from certain things. But if I don't choose to believe it, if I don't choose to act on it, then it doesn't mean anything. You have to make a choice in what you're doing. You see, choices, it's always easy to make when someone else is there to help you make them sometimes, isn't it? Because you know why? We always want everybody else's approval on our choices. The only approval that we need is God's. His approval. Not mine. Not yours. But His. Does He approve of the choice that I'm making? Now sometimes bad things happen to good people. They do. Accidents happen along the way. And you may not have any control over those things that happen. But one thing you do have control over is how you govern what's inside of you. You are in control of it. My childhood wasn't the greatest. I made a choice to forgive. Some of my jobs wasn't always the greatest, but I chose to be the best I could be. God called me into the ministry, and I laughed. Because I said, God, you really made a bad choice. And God reminded me that He's not looking for perfection, He's looking for obedience. And when I fail, I choose to remind myself that greater is He that is in me than he that is in this world. I choose to remind myself that God chose me. And I need to continue to fight. I need to continue to build the ark that God wants me to build. You need to continue to build what God needs you to build. Your family can't do it for you. Only you can do it. Real quickly, I've asked myself these questions here, and I thought that you might need to hear them as well. Who have you decided to listen to? Whose words have you decided to believe? What part of God's word have you decided to believe? What part of God's word have you chosen to obey? What battles have you chosen to fight? You see, every sin is birthed at dishonor. When we disobey, we're birthing something else. Isn't it time that we start making the right choices and the right things for our walk with God? You see, it takes two to make a covenant. We all heard that saying, it takes two to tango, right? It takes two to make a covenant. It takes two to argue, doesn't it? Unless you're me, then I can argue myself, and boy, it sounds like a hoot hand going on in there. But God's already made a covenant with us. What do we choose? The only future, and I'm going to leave you with this, the only future that God can endorse for you is the future you authorize Him for. The only future God is authorized to endorse is the one you create with your decision. You choose. Your choice. You choose to go to Walmart or Food Line. That's your choice. You choose to go to Lowe's or Midway Supply. That's your choice. You choose every day to do something for yourself. You make the decisions that govern anything inside of you. You do. Not me. Not your friends. Not your relatives. You do. You choose it. You choose this day your destiny. I choose God. I choose Him. Because when I make that choice, I know where my destiny is. It was difficult for me to have this message brought to me in these past few weeks. Because I'm going to tell you, when we were at convention, there have been so many things going on. Not only at convention, but at our church. And I felt like, here I go with my feelings. I failed. I failed as a pastor. I failed as a bishop. I failed as a husband. I failed as a dad. But it was my choice of what I felt. I remember getting along with God, and I said, God, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep yo-yoing. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the roller coaster experiences. And just as I'm standing here to you, he spoke into my spirit. And he says, it's your choice. You choose. You choose. And I said, God, I choose you. Above all things, I choose you. And if I keep choosing you, hopefully, I'll start making better, right choices. But it has to start with you. He's done everything he needed to do. God's done moved every mountain he needed to move. He knows you. He knew me. Does that make me perfect? No, it doesn't. Does it make me better? No, it doesn't. It makes me real. And we got too many things that aren't real in our lives. And that's one of them. I cannot afford not to be real. My choice with God. How about you? What do you choose? What do you choose? Everyone must build their own art. God gives us the materials. He gives us the blueprints. We must decide what kind of art we want. I want one that will not only carry Ashland City, not only the state of Tennessee, not only the United States, I want one that will carry everybody who chooses the destiny of God. Amen? Stand with me this morning.